All right.
Okay, good evening, guys. We are now in our fourth class, and I think we're going to speak about TVs this week, eh? So today at least. I hope you guys all had a good weekend. Hope you had a basic worship service yesterday morning. Yeah, I'm sure you did, eh? Edith, just open up for the word of prayer first. Then you can get going.
So, but I want to thank you, James, for being with God. God is so loving. God is so caring. And God is so like us. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we see that Lord, we fall short of your purpose. But we thank you that Lord, you are such a merciful God who does not always cover our sins. Forgive us tonight. We need to come, Lord, to learn from your word. Be with us. And Lord, you teach us, you learn from you. Help us in this way. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so tonight we're going to speak about one of the things I was asked to cover was your CV. Basically, because you need a CV if you're gonna go apply for a job. So you can take one and pass it on. So before an employer or an employee, sorry, before an employer sees you, this is the boss now, the company sees you, your CV is the first thing they're going to see. Right? And based on what they see on your CV, they're gonna make a decision to give you an interview or not. Um, And so your CV plays a very important role when you're applying for work or when you're applying for a job. Uh, so tonight we're just gonna cover some do's and don'ts on your CV. And I also some of you, I mean, I asked you to bring your CVs first so I can just have a look at it. Uh, it's always good. It's actually better nowadays to have a CV in electronic form, if I can put it like that, somewhere online, somewhere on your PC or somewhere on your phone, so it's easy to send out. Um, because most of the time that's what they're gonna ask you, just to email a CV or WhatsApp a CV. So we'll just look at some of those. I brought my computer with this evening, so we can go through and just check what we can do over there. Um, so do's and don'ts. So when you write up your CV or make your CV, there's a couple of things that you don't do, and obviously a couple of things that you make sure that you do. And we're just gonna have a look at those things this evening. And then when we're done with this, then I'm gonna go through your CVs. If you have electronic ones, then I'm gonna load it up onto my PC. And then see if we need to make changes and stuff like that, and we can print it out again and do it tomorrow. And then also what I'll do is because most of us have smartphones. So I'll WhatsApp, I'll get your phone numbers and then I'll WhatsApp your CV to you and you have it on your phone. You just download it onto your phone. Okay, so the do's and don'ts of a CV. So a CV, like I said, the the reason why you have a CV is when you're gonna apply for a job, eh? When you make an application for work, that's the reason why you're gonna have a CV. So we first have a couple of do's here. Or we'll jump between do's and don'ts here. I think this is how it's laid out. Maybe. Yeah, this is extra ones. These are extra. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's get through this. Okay, so some do's, no? So what you do is you write you often have a cover letter. It's gonna say this the CV of whoever this is. Then you're gonna have a where you start with a career objective, which includes your aim or your goal. your personal skills, so what you want to develop, communication, leadership, teamwork, confidence, management, team building, all these are things that you're good in, that you've already done maybe in your career. This is a sentence that should be short, concise, and not simply a repetition of what is on the cover letter. Right? The thing about CVs and that word concise is very important. No? Concise and short, that's key with any CV. Right? Employees don't want to see long, drawn up CVs. They don't want to see CVs that are like 3 or 4, 5, 6 pages long. They want to see something that it's quick for them to look at. They can go through it very quickly. They can easily see who you are, what you studied, and where you work. Those are the most important things. And obviously, references play a big role in your CVs. No? Always start with the most recent qualifications. Okay, so your most recent qualification would be Somerset West School of Preaching for you guys, unless you're studying somewhere else. That will be your most recent qualifications. And then descending chronological order. So when they send you, what you do is you put in there what you've done before this and what you studied before that, until you end up into your high school. Okay. Just there's a note there. When recruiters open your CV, they will firstly scan it to quickly ensure that you have a basic requirements for the role. Okay. So they're gonna look quick to see if you apply for a specific job, they're gonna look and see if you are suited for this job on your CV. They're gonna look quickly. And if they see that you don't fit the criteria for this job, they're probably not gonna go any further with that CV. Okay. But if they see that okay, this person might be able to do what we want, the person will be looking for, then they're gonna put your CV. They like split it up. They put the file that they're gonna contact on one side and the file that they're not gonna contact on one side. And then that's how they, because they get a lot of CVs because and with our country, unfortunately, the situation that we find ourselves in, a lot of people are unemployed. So a lot of people is looking for work. So when there's a job that is open or available, people apply, the employees, they get lots of applications. You see, and your CV needs to catch the person that is sorting it out. Your CV must catch their eye, you see, because they have to sift through maybe, like I said, I think last week I said maybe 100, 150 CVs. And they don't have a lot of time to do that, you see. So yeah. So they will scan to make sure that you're the right person for the job. To pass this initial test, determine what skills your target employees are looking for and make them prominent on your CV. So if you know that you are, hi, who found it? Oops. Sorry. That's it. Is it? Oh. So if you know you're applying for something specific and you know you have that skills to do that job, then make it stand out on your CV. Right? If you know that you're applying for something that you know you can do, you know that you've done this before, you know you have the experience in that, then you make it stand out on your CV. So when they look and they see maybe they're looking for a fitter and turner, and they see you work for what's it, any company, global engineering, and they see that you work for the internally, that's what they're looking for. Then they know, okay, I'm gonna put this here because this guy is who we or what we are looking for. Okay, so make it stand out on your CV. Okay, right, so this gone. So that thing says include your work experience, right, with the time period. Include your work experience with your time period, your duties, roles, and responsibilities. If you're a student, include internships in details. If you have any internships, write only about those applicable for the job profile. Others, one-liners is enough. Okay. So note how long you've been for the company. Okay. So and that is important also because they want to see uh like they want to see like how long you work for specific places, right? And put it out maybe to give a reason why you maybe left, if it was in a good reason, if you left on a good note. Because they want to see, sometimes employers want to see, like you've been there for a while, man. You've worked, you just didn't come, and a month later you were gone. Or you came in 6 months later you were gone. Maybe there's reasons why that happened. So state, company closed down. That's why you only worked there for 6 months. No? But they want to see your work period. So they want to say if you work there for 5 years, you say, I worked there from June 2019 to June 2024. Right? So they can see that period that you work. Okay. Um, so they also can see that they're not gonna, because the process of employing somebody is a tedious process. And if they see that you're a guy that, okay, this guy only sticks around for 2, 3 months, it means if they employ you, you're gonna stick around for 2, 3 months, they're gonna have to go through the whole process again. You see. So it's always a good thing to try and work there for a good amount of time. Um, they have this thing called long service. You heard that word, long service? So you work for a company for a long period of time. Now, long service has changed now, obviously, as culture and society has changed. Long service used to be maybe 5 years and up, no, or maybe 10 years and up. That's long service. Now, with our younger generation, long service is considered 3 years. That's considered long service. But employers know that, right? They understand is the HR, whoever's in charge of HR, they understand these things, how it's changed. Especially in certain industries, you employ a certain group, and you know that for them, as they consider long service as maximum 3 years. Right? We come from an older generation, we would consider long service 5 to 10 years and up, you know. So just bear that in mind. It's good to have um, some employers, they like to see that this person sticks around, somebody that we don't have to replace very soon if we give the person the job. But circumstances happens, things happen where you sometimes can't stay at a job too long and you have to move on. Well, you can explain that to them if they should ask you. It says that if you are a student, including internship details. So if you like you guys are doing school of preaching now, and you might be asked to go and preach somewhere, you include that, like you've done preaching here and there as part of your training. You might be asked to do lessons, you might be asked to do Bible studies at certain congregations, maybe even here. Then you should note that you've done these things, especially if you are applying for a job as a preacher or in that capacity, basically. Um, so it says here you can boost your CV by doing, okay, and mention what was the learning gain. So you can, if you don't have enough education or enough training, there's a lot of things online that is free of charge. Like there are websites. I'll try and give you like a few where you can go and do these free courses online. And you don't pay anything for it. You may have to just pay for your certificate that they send to you. But those things are, some of them, they might not be accredited, but sometimes employers will see these things and they'll take note of it. So it does help if you're able to do that. I know being online, you need Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi you can find now just about anywhere. You can find free Wi-Fi. Um, so then do that. Do a course. If you are thinking about doing something and you don't have that skill or you don't have that formal training, but you can do it, then do a course that is free of charge, just to add to your CV. Just to say that I've done this course, I know about the theory, on what the skills that I have. Okay, blog writing. You know what blog writing is? So that's when you write blogs about certain things, man. So a lot of people they do blogs and they like about things that they know or things that they have knowledge about. There's a lot of blog writing out there that's a waste of time, that don't make no sense. But some people do blogs like they know certain things. Like say a plumber or like some blog writings just to expose himself out there to show that I can do plumbing. And he'll give like small tips, like if you have a leak, something leaking at home, he'll tell you maybe to do this to fix it, or he'll give you some advice on certain things. So a lot of people do that just so that they can expose themselves out there, so people can see, like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. Okay. Learning new skills like languages. So you're learning a new language, some of you. Mm. The certifications related to your career development. So I mean that if you want to learn a new language, it will benefit you. It's always good. I know when I worked in when I worked in the hospitality industry, we used to deal a lot with tour guides. So you have these groups that come with big groups come from overseas and they're coming on tours, and some of them come with tour guides, and then the language that we speak is English, but some of those people that are traveling, they're not good at English. So, for instance, Spanish. So you'd have groups coming from Spain, and then the guys that could speak Spanish was in high demand, and they were tour guides. So what happens is with tour guides is you get chosen, and are you going to suit that tour group? So if there was a lot of Spanish groups coming, then if you were one of a few Spanish guys, then you were going to get a lot of work because they're going to call on you because you speak Spanish. You see, if you speak what's it? Not it's not Chinese. If you speak Mandarin, right? There's a lot of Chinese people that come and visit Cape Town, right? So they use people that can speak their language to take them on tours. Because Chinese, those Chinese that come, a lot of them don't speak English at all, right? So they need the tour guide, you see. So that's a good thing to have. So it's a benefit, in a way, Like you guys speak, some of you speak, will you speak French?
French, yeah.
Yeah, so you got French, right? See, it's plus for you because if you were a tour guide, now that's a skill that you can develop. You can become a tour guide. You do a tour guide's course, and they put you into the system, and then tour operators will contact you when a French group is coming, and then you go for the group and you're the tour guide, so you can speak French. You can speak any other language. Do we have any other languages here? You speak the local language now, the Zimbabwean local languages,
Lebele.
Ndebele, Shona,
Hola.
Shona. Huh? Okay. So you see, you got one up, one, and now you're learning English, but you can speak English, right? Um, so it's a good thing, right? If you can. And I know we are very busy. Our time doesn't always allow us to do all these extra things. But if we have the time, we should try and go after those things. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah. Okay, so staying honest on your CV and job application, you will reflect better on you and will make talking in interviews less stressful. So be honest on your CV, right? I mean, I shouldn't say that you should be honest with Christians, so that should be something that comes naturally, but don't put things on your CV that shouldn't be there. All right, so don't put on there, for instance, you studied at a place, but you didn't study at the place. Huh? Don't put on there that you did this kind of job, but you didn't do the job. Be honest on it, because like it says there, when it comes to your interview, they're gonna ask you, like if you get an interview, and if you get it because you said those things, then they're gonna ask you about it. And I mean, they know what they are looking for, and eventually, they'll know, okay, no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy, didn't do the job or whatever. So be honest on your CV. Um, when mentioning education, start with a recent one. So okay, so when you put your education in, like we what you do, like I said, what you've done most recently, that starts first. Then you put in what you've done just before that. Then you put in what you've done before that until you end up at your high school, whatever your highest education was on school level. Um, it says even mentioning educational details starts with recent ones and end with your high school certificate or your senior secondary certificate. 1 for masters and graduation. One can include your project work and describe it in 50 to 100 words. Okay, that's if you studied like when you do higher studies, when you get to that level, graduate studies, you do research, especially when you do a master's and stuff like that. So you can include what your master's was all about, briefly, 100 to 50 to 100 words. If you are a candidate who has a lot of work experience, then one can use a table. So, like they say here, if you've worked in a lot of places and you have a lot of work experience, it's sometimes hard to put everything down because we don't want to have a lot of pages, and you can use a table to put that in. And that's just an example over there. So you can note your qualification. This is obviously education. But if your work, you can say employer, your period of employment. So you make a table. So you make period of employment and you say what your responsibilities were. Then you put it all in like a table. See, and then I can just go through it like that. If you have any questions, you must ask, because I'm just going through this. But if you have questions, ask. Because these are important things. Right. See there. What of a CV formation? Yeah, the error there, right? The mistake is purposely put there. Right? It says spelling and grammar mistakes. Spelling and grammar mistakes are very avoidable, huh, with today's spell check technology, but be sure to check your CV manually before sending it out to anyone. Yeah, try not to have any mistakes on your CV. Okay. It just kind of reflects better on you and stuff like that. So there's some like they say, I mean, especially today, we use a computer and we can do a spell check on there, and they're pretty much accurate. The PCs, right? It's only with names and stuff like that that they might not get it right, but it's pretty much accurate if you do a spell check. And then also just ask somebody to read it for you or go through your CV. No? That's another thing that you can do. Just read over it, and you read over it also. So you also might pick up mistakes here or there and stuff like that. Try not to have any. I mean, I don't say it's going to be perfect, but try at your utmost not to have any mistakes on your CV. Try to do it. Try to make sure there's no errors on. So check it, and double check it. It's like doing your schoolwork. You're going to check it and double check it. Okay. Skills graphs may be visually pleasing, but they don't give readers a tangible scale of your skills. Use real life measures to demonstrate your skill levels, such as qualifications and length of experience. See, that's coming up again. Huh? Length of experience and your qualifications. Too many pages. Don't have CVs that has got a lot of pages. I spoke about this already. Recruiters will sometimes see hundreds of CVs per week, so don't make them wade through lengthy CVs, no? So yeah, stay away from that. I know I've seen some people who give CVs and they put everything on that CV, right? They put everything. They put this. I went to high school, yeah, I graduated, I did these subjects, and it listed all down there. Then they put their jobs, then they put the jobs, listed what my job, and then notes, I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. Don't make your CV too long. If it's like it says here, keep your CV to around 2 pages. Like if you have to go onto 3 pages, then I mean, if it's because of your work experience or because of your studies that you've done, then it's okay. But still try and keep it as concise as possible. Right? Because a long CV, if a recruiter gets 4 or 5 pages, they already gonna just say, oh, what's going on here? Like I know this because I worked in the industry, or I work in the hotel industry, and I know how HR works. You know, and we and you as a person, if I was in a position, I needed somebody to fill a position. I don't go through the CVs. My HR goes through the CVs. Your HR department will look at the CVs, and they'll sift through it, and they'll choose the people that they want you to interview. You don't even go. You don't even see the CVs. As I mean, that was where I work. I mean, sometimes it's different in other places. So keep it to around 2 pages if you can. Okay, so these are just another thing here. Photographs. If you don't need a photograph on your CV, don't put a photograph on your CV. It is, unless you're an actor or model, photographs will not add any value to your applications. Use limited space on your CV wisely by filling it with compelling content. Right? So unless you're applying for a job where they want to see what you look like, don't put your photo on. And normally I put titles for that. You see, eventually, when they employ you, they're going to ask you for documents, right? So this is just to get you the interview, right? They're not going to ask you for your ID immediately. They're going to do an interview, and then they're going to speak to you, and then they're going to look at your. They're going to ask you about whatever's on there. Then what they'll do is they're going to, if you have references, they're going to phone your references, right? I mean, I think any employer that doesn't phone references is just not doing his job, right? So you phone the references because now you phone somebody that you've worked for previously, right? So when you put the references on there, put the right references on. I don't put a reference. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but sometimes people make that mistake. They put all their references on there, right? And there might be a place where you didn't, you left that job on a bad note, right? So I mean, it's not. I mean, and you say you must be honest, but if you know that that person is not going to give you a good reference, then try not to take the reference from me. But they will ask you for it, and they might phone without you even knowing to find out about you. No? So, what does that lesson? You must be, what do we say? We children of God. If we Christians, then anywhere we go and anything we do, and if we leave, we should never be leaving on a good note. We should always be leaving. I mean, yeah, we should always be leaving on a good note and not on a bad note. You know? So I mean that plays a lot into your character as a person, who you are, right? And if you left on a bad note for whatever reason, you got into an argument with your boss and you got into a shouting match, as Christians, we don't live like that. So that should be part of your life, in your work and things like that. So you shouldn't have to not put a reference on there because you left on a bad. And also, if you are using references, because they don't want, I mean, if you work 10 jobs, they don't want 10 references. If you are putting references on there, contact your references and tell them, look here, I'm using you as a reference, so you'll be expecting a call from somebody. You don't have to tell that person to lie for you or to say anything on your behalf. Just let them know that they are going to be getting a call from somebody. With regards to your work when you work with him. Yeah, so don't use pictures. Yeah, Bella?
So may I ask a question?
Yes.
I've basically owned a guest house for 14 years with my late husband, and prior to that, owned restaurants, but I don't have now references because it was owned, not I didn't work for anyone.
Yeah. So you don't have any contactable references at the moment. So
no.
yeah, so you have to state that on there, and then maybe add maybe somebody who could give a reference as to your character. So and then you can explain that on your CV. Maybe your
Okay.
church leader, the evangelist that's here, or one of the elders, people that know you that can give a reference according to your character could
Okay.
also help.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that would also help. Yeah, because they sometimes they just want to know what kind of person you are. You see, so it's they have a reference on there because it's very hard for them to. Because if you sit in an interview, it's easy to come present yourself as that person. But some employers they're gonna want to ask somebody about you, the kind of person you are, and especially when it comes to work, what kind of work ethic did you have? You know, were you a hard worker? Were you always on time? Um, did you have any discipline issues with the person and stuff like that? You ask that kind of questions when you form the reference. And specifically, if it's a specific job, the I will ask, can this person do this job? And the person on the other side must be able to say yes or no. No, more than capable of doing this. Okay. Okay, so this is nowadays there are software and types of documents which want you to insert photographs. So sometimes it's like some employers now they have these electronic applications. So you fill out all your things. So you don't even send them a CV. So when you do the application, you pull it out online on an online system. Like for instance, I know this Amazon is doing this now, right? Because Amazon is opening up soon. So they don't have a thing where you send in a CV. You go onto an actual website that is a recruiting website and you fill out all the details on there. And that's basically you filling out your CV. Um, and then they put some of them, I mean, I'm just saying because it's electronic. So some electronic guys will require you to put a photograph there. But if it's a normal job, if it's a job that doesn't require that, then don't bother to put a photo on it. I mean, they just say that. Just send your CV with your information on there. Okay. Um, next one is, let's see here. We can start with a CV at the top of the page. Employees know what they are reading, and you are using a valuable space, especially as it's probably the first thing they will read. Instead, start simply with your name and move on from there. Right? You never know. It might be just the thing that gets you remembered. Don't mention any extracurricular activities in detail. Right? If you like fishing, then just say that your extra, I go fishing. You know, when you put the, you have a space there in your CV, and will say extracurricular. Just note them down. Don't say fishing and I go fishing every Saturday and I spend it on the beach. I spend time fishing at the lake from 5 o'clock or this, and I average a catch of maybe 4 fish a day. I've tried fishing, but I'm bad at that. I don't know. So some things I can't do. I went fishing once, then I went with a guy that was an expert in fishing. And only because he was there. I mean, I tried fishing before that and I never ever caught a fish. Ever. And then that day that I went with him, I caught 5 fish. But because he's got all this electronic stuff and he can see where the fish is, and you basically drop down the line and then the fish hooks onto it. And thereafter, I never caught the fish again after that. I don't know why I'm using fishing, but I like swimming. I used to be a good swimmer, so I like swimming. Don't know those stuff, but don't know it in detail. But I have to say, hobbies or extracurricular activities, jogging, swimming, reading books. I don't know if we should say watching TV, but try not to do that. Okay. It says don't mention gender depending on the job specification, bank passwords, ad hoc calls. So okay, so try not to say that because now it's a big deal now, you know, it's supposed to be gender neutral. So you don't mention that on your CV. You know, if you read your name, you should be able to see that you are a male or female. Do you use personal pronouns? I, me, you know, this I am this guy, and you know, all of that. You know? Don't use words like love, okay? They say don't use that because it's not professional. No? I love to do this and that and that, or I love I love my job, and you must try to use things that are more professional. And I know we as Christians we speak differently because of that, but then we set to that aside for that moment when we do your CVs, because they want professional, right? So it was that professional edge that a good CV needs and comes across as mature. You know? So always think of the person that's going to look at your CV. That's what you have to think about. The person that's going to read your CV. The person that's going to go over your CV. That's what's important. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. They say, have someone you respect read your resume and tell you candidly whether you sound confident or what you can go beyond your job responsibilities. If not, rewrite. No? So if you don't, yeah, like always have somebody look at your CV, somebody that okay, this person's going to give you honest opinion on whether your CV is good or not good. No, do that. I mean, it's not a bad thing if somebody says, you need to change this doesn't sound too good. Take good criticism. What do you say? Criticism that is good. So take it. Now, don't feel attacked or whatever. So do that, and then you fix it. What needs to be fixed? If you see, okay, I understand that, fix it. And then you receive it ready and send it out to the person that you're applying for to a job. Okay. So that is our slides. I'm gonna put my CV up here, and you guys can have a look at my CV and see if I done it. And I'm sure mine is not as perfect as it's supposed to be. But I'm just gonna copy over this piece. Okay, so all of you do have a CV, no? Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my CV, right? So I'm sure mine is not what it's supposed to be, but let's just go through it. Okay, so there I have my name on the top, my address, um, age, my ID number, my language, married, height, sports, soccer, contact details, and my driver's license. That's all you need for personal information, right? Um, if you have a phone number on your CV, make sure that phone number works. No? Don't put a phone number on there, and don't forget that if you do change your phone, or you put the other, or you get another SIM card or anything, make sure that your number is on, because they are going to phone you once. They might try again one second time. So make sure firstly that the number is correct and make sure that it's a working telephone number because they're not going to phone you more than twice. Trust me. Because if they can't get hold of you, they're just going to go to the next CV. Right? So you make sure that your phone number is correct. I put my driver's license in there because I mean I just find that sometimes some employers will want to see that you are able to you do have a license, but it's not always needed. But unless the job specifically, like when I worked, I needed my driver's license. I needed also I needed the PDP to go with it. Okay. So I put mine a bit different here. But you see, I put my like when we went through the slides, it said you have to put your education as in your latest one. So mine's wrong. I didn't fix it yet. But I have my high school education, right? And then I have my tertiary education. Yeah, work experiences afterwards, no? So well, I think you can put it. It's better to put your education first, then your work experience, right? So then I just listed my tertiary education, no? What I've done after I left school, and this is from latest to what I've done. The latest I've done to what I've started off with. Okay, so you list that. Yeah, that's that one, and then my work experience. So currently, I'm working at the East Church of Christ. That's my latest. That's my current job. Okay, then you put and you see it's very there's not a lot to this, right? Then I worked at the High Ground Church of Christ, and you just fill in your responsibilities there. And I worked in the hotel. I just filled in my responsibilities. You see, very concise, right? I don't go into detail on all of these and stuff like that. And my periods are there, right? 15 May to June 2014, St. George's, 26 May, all that stuff is there. Okay. And then my contactable references are over there. And that's it. That's my CV. And that's 2 pages. Okay. And so that's just an example. So that's what you're looking for on your CV. Huh? You want to keep it as concise as possible and with the information that you're doing. Okay. All right. So that's all that I have at the moment. So we're gonna go through your CVs now. Uh, we'll see what we're gonna do. Okay. Okay. So do you have your CV in electronic form? So are we doing that? So you got it on your thingy. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of nonsense.
So your CV is 3 pages, no?
Yeah, it's a lot of.
So after what you just see now, you realize, okay, I can make some changes here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have so your physical address is 44?
No, that's the old one.
Okay, so that's old, huh? Okay, so those are all things that you must update. Now, if
Yeah.
your phone numbers change, you update the phone number. So this is almost like resume format, right? You know, there's a difference between the two, right? There's a CV and there's what you call a resume. A resume should not even be this long, right? Resumes are normally 1 pages. No, but we in South Africa, we hardly use resumes. We only use most of the time it's a CV. I don't hear people asking for a resume. They ask for the CV, you know. So that's kind of a resume format. But you can change it if you want to. It's just easier to read if it's like in this kind of format. It makes it easier. And then you have your brief description of who I am. Okay. Then you have your skill summary and your work experience. Okay, your education. So like I said, with your work experience, you can make it more concise. It saves space, right? So and like the you have key responsibilities. It means this person has to read this to see what you've done. You just list this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you make it easier for them to look.
Yeah.
Right. So you say So you're gonna put name of the company, and you're gonna put that. You're gonna say position that, and you're gonna say your date, okay, and your key responsibilities. This.
Okay.
Stock taking, opening and closing, maintaining store,
Yeah.
packing shelves, and replacing items throughout the day. Simple, right? So that guy can see, okay, that's what you've done doing.
Mm.
Okay. Because like this, it means he has to read it.
Yeah, yeah. It's low.
Yeah. Huh? Um, so did you work at JJ Electrical?
Mm.
Jordan is where you're working now, or where you working now?
Yeah, I worked a long time.
Okay, so you must put this in order.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, make sure, like I said, make sure you start with the one where you're busy now, and you work back.
Okay.
And check the spelling errors now. Check those things now, like I said. Um, and the same with your education, try and keep it uh, also like in an orderly way. Um, name of training course, yeah. So you will say, okay, the name of the place where you did the training. Right? See, you don't have the name of the institute where you did this electrical practicals. Okay, College of Cape Town. So that's what you put first. No, you name that College of Cape Town in what you did. And and the dates that you were there, right? And what your qualification was. No? Okay. And then good, you're listing other skills here, that's good. Okay. So you know, and your languages that you speak is good. Okay. Hobbies is good, you see. One words, that's fine. Okay, and then your references, no? But like I said, make sure those references are contactable.
Yeah.
Okay, so that they are up to date.
Okay.
So if there's any of you that want to help you with the CVs that I'm done here, then I'm obviously gonna have time, so I can sit on my computer and then we can help you. Yeah? Okay, so your one. So your experiences, your skills. Campus. Is this campus? Okay. Okay, so your personal details is on the one side. Is that I'm looking at this, no? Okay, and then you have all the other things for that. So you're trying to get everything on one page, is what I see. Okay. Okay. It's good to try and do that, but if it becomes too hard to read, then if you want to put it on 2 pages, put it on 2 pages. Okay. Because it might just be challenging for the person to read. But I mean, I don't see much of an issue here. Um, okay. Yeah. That's good. That's okay. You want to maybe change a couple of things, like swap around the education, the same that I need to do. Put your latest education first, and then work back to your high school education. Um, High school used to be the thing, right? It used to be the important thing to have in the matric. So a lot of people used to look for that on CVs. But now it's more tertiary education or skills that you develop after school. If you they just want to know that you have a matric, you see. Previously it used to be matric was very important, but skills after matric now plays a bigger role because there's so much people doing so much extra courses and training and stuff like that. That matric is important, but matric alone is not always going to get you the job unless they're specifically looking for people that has just passed matric. So pop that to the top now. Um, Then evangelism and discipleships and facilitator and moderator. You've done those, you've completed those courses. Okay, that's good. Right. You should actually put that in as qualification. Right. Because you are qualified facilitator moderator. Right. You have the certificates to prove that. Yeah. Absolutely put that as a qualification. Okay. Key skills, you can say evangelism and discipleship because you training now to do that, to get a certificate of that. Once you have that certificate, then that will move down to a qualification, a tertiary qualification. Okay. Yeah. And your references are contactable, no?
Yes.
Yeah. See Jankles. Uncle. All the Uncle Friedman and Dr. Idzmi Zoili and Paul Kim. Yeah. That's good. And like all your skills and stuff, you can also move onto the side. Because you have it on this, as you can see, you have it on the side.
Yes.
So move it as in because you have key skills and you have other skills and you have skills. You see that. So try and put them all together in one section. You can still split them up as stuff, split them up as in important and in just skills and other skills. But keep them so when you get to skills, obviously this is all your skills. This is your key skills, that's your important skills, or just your normal skills, and that's other skills. But maybe just put them all together. Maybe just say key skills is this, and these are all your other skills, and then you list them. Yeah. And your personal information, that's good. Good.
I have one question. While typing your CV, let's say using Word as an app, how would you know that this line I need maybe to underline it, maybe need to make it more bigger?
Stand out on your
Yeah.
CV.
How do you do this?
On the PC, you just do it on the computer.
No, like I see yours. Yeah, when you say tertiary education,
Yeah.
there's a you just underline it. So, I mean, that's something that you like. How can I say? You be showing to the one or to the HR, and those like the very important things that you need like to underline all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. I underline it. You can bold it out also. And if you don't want to underline it, you can bold it. So they can pick up like if that's what I want them to see quickly, then you can bold it and underline it. You see, so if they are looking, if they specifically say, okay, let me quickly look what's this guy's tertiary, then they can see, okay, there's his tertiary, it's bolded out. So you can put like I'm basically underlined sections, no? So you see personal details underlined. So they know, okay, that's a section. Then education, that's a section. Then I put tertiary education, that's another section. And then with your work experience, I just underline the company so they can see who I'm worked for or who I am working for. So you can do, but it's good to like when they said in the slides, when you put certain things to stand out and you want the person to notice it, then you do that. Right. So that will stand out, especially and if you're applying, say, for like I say, a skill of an engineer or a fitter internal or diesel mechanic, then you want to underline that. So when they look, they can see, okay, this guy is a diesel mechanic. He trained for a diesel mechanic and he worked as a diesel mechanic. So you highlight those things on the CV. Because like they say, like I say, they get such a lot of CVs, they're gonna scan. Right. They're just sometimes they're not even gonna look in detail at your personal information, but they're gonna scan for work and they're gonna scan for education. Right. So when they see there, then they're gonna go back and then they're gonna have a look, okay, who this person is. Right. So if you need to make things stand out, then do that. Underline it or you can bold it like that. So make it more clear, no? Anybody else?
As fireman, so fireman, as fireman.
Okay. Right, and the cover page, you see she's got a cover page, no? So I have a cover page. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have issue with that. That's okay. See, this is a similar format to this one over here. Well, like I said, gender, no? You can take gender out. Is in een gender geslag? No? Is in nodig om in te visie? Okay, yeah. Yeah?
Dus hij is ik ben er nog eens.
And your ideas. The like that you want, yeah. That's like your like a motivation, no? Is anders om te motivate. Kom je nou werk zoeken,
Ja.
omdat je werk moet keren and stuff like that. It's also good to put motivation in there. Like you can say, like I am you can say the reason for applying to this position is that you feel that you are suited for this kind of work and stuff like that. That's also very important. Yeah, that's key. So you can see somebody to do up your TV for you next. Right, right. Tell them. We must open it up a bit, yeah. You turn it. Sorry. Can you see me better?
Your camera is not pointing to the set.
Just turn it a bit this way.
Which way?
This
Put
way.
it a little bit down there. This way? No, it's not.
Just no, so
Oh, this way.
let me just unplug it and plug it in again. We're still there, right? Right, there we go. There's movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Doesn't have to be on me.
So minus are
Yeah, yours is fine, yeah. That's good. Yeah, it's not much that you need to change, But always make sure that your CVs are up to date. Huh? So like if you move to a new job, then update it, then you know it's updated already. You never know when opportunities come about and you'd have to change certain things and stuff like that, no? Yeah, but it's not actually 3 pages because the last page is only a smaller one. Okay, now I see you used this or did somebody do this for you? Did you do? Okay, so you use the template? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, maybe try and move it a bit up.
Yeah.
And then maybe it will all fit in. But you see, you got your personal details over here, and then everything else falls under the. So maybe you should must try and because you got personal details here, but then you have your address and your phone number and stuff. I know the template tells you to do it like that, but I'm sure on the template you're able to delete that. No? And what you do is you pull it in on the side and you pull it with your personal details.
Okay.
And keep it all together. No? Like I said, make sure that phone numbers are working phone numbers. And then that's also good. Now put your email address on there. Because sometimes they'll email you and you've got yours on. So if you have an email address, put it on the CV. So that they sometimes they'll email you to say, please contact us. Instead of phoning you, they'll email you. So have your email address on it. If you don't have an email, get an email. Okay? You guys should be able to do that. Gmail, you don't have to pay for that. You just get a do a thingy online. And then you guys have access to Wi-Fi or internet.
Yeah, your email of your phone, your email address, and I give my email address of your phone.
Ja, dan zul je e-mailadres op je CV.
Okay.
Oh, je kan je e-mails schrijven op je phone.
Ik ben koppel.
En je kan ze e-mails schrijven op je phone. Als ik nou
Ja.
voor jou e-mails stuur. Ja, zoals ik voor jou e-mails stuur, dan zal het zien.
Ja.
Ja, dat is al. Ja.
Ja.
Ja, zo maak niet verzieken die e-mailadres wat je op je phone hebt, is hetzelfde adres wat ze op je CV heeft. No? So you have your work experience before your education.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. As long as your work experience is in order. No? So like you see here, you have so you need to make changes here.
Yes.
Right. So you put what are you currently? Are you the private caregiver currently?
I'm currently, but
Which one?
the first one.
So that's it, no?
Yeah, I went back and so.
Okay.
So I'm doing.
So that's what you must say.
Yeah.
So did you work there before you
Yeah,
did?
I worked there before I left because I was having a child. Like I went back.
Okay, so you put that in there, no?
Mm.
But they are where you are currently.
Yeah.
Right. So you put that. So you went back in 2021.
No, I went back 2020. 2023.
Okay, so you're gonna so this one is gonna move down.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be 2023 till currently. This is where you're working. Then this one, you still put that in there so they can see you worked there before you left and you came back again. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that also, like I got that on my CV. You can see I started off in the hotel operating at the Peninsula. And I ended up again at the Peninsula. And that was the last, but I worked at other hotels in between. Okay, so put that in so they can see, okay, and then they'll ask you, so why did you leave? And you say, no, just I had a child and I had to leave. And then they can see you came back. So you see, okay, the people hired you again because obviously they know who you were a good worker, so they hired you again. So that's good, no? So you just have to switch some of those around. And then education. Okay, so like I'm saying, like for mine, I must also do this. Move your high school education down to the bottom and the latest things that you've done to the top.
Oh.
No? So they can see, okay, these are the things. And you've done quite a bit of
Yes.
courses. Put that in, that's good. Make sure that it's there, you know?
Mhm.
So you just need to tweak a few of the things. So it's not there's not a lot that needs to be done on your CV. And your references, like I say, always make sure they're
Yeah.
up to date, no?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Who's next?
Yeah.
You and that? So you want us to do one for you tonight? Okay, we can sit and do that. Who else?
Ik zit nog in de zin. Ja.
Children?
Also nog even aflezen.
Okay. So do you want to do one or? Okay.
Om een dat PDF.
So do you need? Oh, so you don't have more copies. So you just need a copy. Okay, so we just need to copy that for you. Okay. I can ask Weston to copy that.
Ja.
Yeah. But what you should do is you must maybe give it to me. No, make the copies. When you make the copies, maak eerst afdrukken van het. Dan geef je mij een van het, dan zet ik het op je computer en steek het voor jou via WhatsApp wanneer je het op je phone hebt. So je die een wat op je electronic and you know, okay. Then we can do that. Who else has got? The rest of you all got electronic, no? Edu, yours is online?
Yes.
Yeah, yours is on the phone, yours is online, and the auditors, no? So we need just two for them. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do this. Bella. Are you gonna need any help with your CV? I wonder if you can hear me.
I've actually got my CV online with Indeed, which is a company that deals with applicants. It's a job site, which it's an app. So at the moment, I don't think so.
Okay, so you don't need any assistance with this. Okay,
No.
okay, not a problem. Okay, so if you wanna, I mean, it's up to you if you wanna stick around. I'm just gonna type out two CVs now for Judith and for Susan. Huh? Yeah. And then if you wanna stick around, you can. But this is basically what we're doing for the rest of the night in the class. It's just updating CVs and writing new ones. So if you want to, you can. If you wanna go, I don't have a problem with that either.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Class, have a great evening. Thank you so much, brother.
Okay, thanks, Bella.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Okay. I'm just gonna type over this. And for you guys, you guys
I think I'm gonna give my info sort of
to update, no? Okay. All right. So Susan. So give me your name is SUZAN, no? SUZAN.
SUS.
SUSAN.
FENKN.
Good. See there on the board? Just tell me what's right or wrong. SUSAN. Can't you see? Does it make it bigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I did the format and then I can type in the list because I don't know everything on my list.
Okay. You want me to email it to you?
Then I can call in the understand.
Yeah.
Because it is-
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I will be just filling out my things.
Yeah. You want to do that? Are you okay with that?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. But I'm not deleting my mind's all over the place. Yeah. I already took out the flash, so mine is still on the flash. This is just one on the PC that hasn't been saved. But I can do that for you. I mean, if you guys want to do it yourself, I mean, I don't mind. I got enough time. We still have time here, so it doesn't matter to me. Okay. So you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna send you blank ones basically is what you want, no?
Okay.
Okay. And then what you do is the other thing is save your CVs in a way that it cannot be changed, no? Because this is a Word format. So when it's in Word format, it can be changed. But when you send it off electronically, you have it in a different format. You have it in a what I call a PDF format. So then what you will do is when you save it, so you'll go here and you'll save as. So you'll save it twice. You'll save it as a Word. So that's CV Josh. You'll save it as a Word document the first time. Then so that's the one that you can always go and change. But the one that you then want to change it, then you save it as a PDF. You see here it says PDF.
Yeah.
So then you save it then you change it and then you save it as a PDF. Because if it's in a PDF format, the person that you're sending it to cannot mess around with it. They cannot change things on it because sometimes they might just take your CV and change a couple of things and use your CV. You see, so they can't change anything on there. Okay, so do that, no? So always when you're sending it out, try not to send it in a Word format. Send it in a PDF. And what happens with PDF, it stays all aligned. You see, so all the like if you have your things are like in order, like say if it's like all down in a row like that, it stays if it's in PDF. So once you save it in PDF, you can look through it and you see that everything is still the way it's supposed to be. So then, because sometimes what happens is if you save it, if you send it through Word and it goes through to another piece and his Word might be different to your Word, as in the how can I say like it's not might not be the latest one, or your one might be older than his one. Then it changes then it doesn't look in order within the lines and the format goes out. So yeah, so you just try and do that. No, you save it in that. This is going to change now, but let me just do this quickly. So it's gonna move now because obviously I'm deleting things. But as you fill in again, it will move things down again. Okay. So age, ID number. If you don't have your ID number, put in your, like if you have a passport, like I see somebody put passport numbers in there, put your passport number in so they can see that. I put native language there, but maybe don't use native language. Um, because your native language is not English. What your is Shona
Shauna, yeah.
is your native language, no? So I'm gonna take this out, then I'm just gonna put language there. So you say you can speak English, and then you can put under your other languages that you speak. Okay. Are you both married? So I'm gonna take this out. You don't have to put marital status in. It's not necessary. But I mean, if you're single, you're single. If you're married, you're married. Doesn't matter. Okay. I put in height there because some jobs will require you to be a certain height, but you can take it out. Like these things you can take out if you want, but try and keep the format the same, no? Your hobbies, put in whatever hobbies is that you do. And they just list, like I said, and don't be afraid to put in some things. No? You might think it's not important, like hobbies. Put it in. I mean, you're just listing it, so it's fine. Okay, so that's driver's license. You don't have to. I'm gonna take this out. So you don't have to put it in unless they're gonna ask for it, no? Then this I'm gonna move down. Oh, yeah.
I think maybe you can keep the driver's license because some jobs require nowadays to keep an eye.
Okay. No, I'll put it in. Okay, so that's tertiary education, and then I'm just gonna put this. Okay, so I'll take this out. Okay, so here I'm putting in institute, no? So tertiary education, you put the institute, the name of the institute that you studied at, then immediately below. So if you say Somerset West School of Preaching, then in the next line you're gonna say what you studied, no? Whatever the course was, and you say the period, no? Then if you have another institute that you studied at, then you go again, then you just tab down and you put institute again, and you go over and you put the name of the institute, what you studied, right? So you put the latest one first and you work your way down. Okay. And then you can just put high school education over there. So to a school that you attended. You just put your, I'm not put my subjects in there, but and you can do, and then your work experience, no? So this is all going to be condensed, but as you fill it in, it will just move everything down. So you'll have your 2 pages again. So I'll just leave the one field in. So you do period there. Okay, so this is like a template, no? So you'll just fill in the stuff that needs to be filled in. I'm gonna do it in here. Let's see. So I'm gonna send it to you. You want it on email or you want it on WhatsApp? You want it on both? Send it to you via WhatsApp. Yeah. You guys can ask if you have any other questions. Don't be. It's very quiet in the class at the moment.
No, but i-search naman mo.
Yeah.
I-search mo mo sa wala mo, no? Ano yung considering something?
You can also that table. Atlas moet je automatisch niet vragen. Dat moet je.
Okay.
So als je wat aanzet, dat je ja, is het een probleem. So you give me a phone number. Anders is er geen van je.
0844
0844
586 201.
201.
Wala, hindi may sunugan. Medical.
Yes.
I have one question, but I'll just wait to, so we're trying to finish. But like it's 11 to what you're doing, but I think it's
You get it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
sometimes when you, let's say you go for interview,
Yeah.
sometimes they ask you about you, who you are. It's like they asking you to give like a brief resume of your own CV. So the recruiter will ask you, tell me about yourself. It's like they asking you about your own CV. So in that case, what would you say in few words? It's like your own resume for your CV.
Yeah, so you must speak about who you are. They don't want you to say what's on your CV, right? They want you like to be able to speak. Look, I am Bani from the Congo. No?
Yeah, cool.
They are from the Congo. I'm from Congo. This is what I do at the moment. I'm married. I have 2 children, and who you are. They just want a brief description of what you can say about yourself. It's almost like speaking on what on your TV, but you mustn't be able to say who you are. Right? You know, I'm Josiah Carelse. I'm a minister at the East Church of Christ. I'm married to Anthea Carelse, and I have 2 kids, Layla and Joshua. I love the Lord. I love the Lord's work. I love the Lord's people. And I love to encourage people to be better Christians. Something like that. You see, and then they'll go to asking you about all the details on your CV. But they want to see if you are able to, and see, that's also kind of sometimes a test to see that what you say there is what is written on your CV. You see, kind of. Um,
Yes. Stay here.
so now you guys have my number also, so if you want to, if you need any info, like straight to the app for anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you tomorrow night in my camp. We're gonna speak about note taking tomorrow. But I'm also gonna give you something that you're gonna do for me. It's gonna be your assignment. You're gonna get back to me on Thursday when I come back. And that's basically your test of what we've done, spoken about, not this week, but last week. And it's basically gonna be, you need to give me, you need to write me a paragraph, right? And I want you to write me, John chapter 1. I'm gonna give it to you again, but you can start thinking about it now. John chapter 1. And basically, you're going to summarize the first chapter of John to me. Right? But I don't want more than 20 sentences. Okay?
John, chapter 1.
Right? So it's going to be between 15 and 20 sentences. John chapter 1, and summarize in your own words. Alright, so what I'm looking for in it,
You said it must not be more than 20.
no more than 20 sentences. So you have to summarize what is written in the chapter. Right? This is not it's not a biblical test, not a Bible school test. So your content that you put in there, I'm not going to mark you on what you like, whether you understand what John wrote, whether you can pick up what he's speaking about when he's speaking about in the beginning there was the word and the word was God and the word. I just want to see that you're able to write in your own words what is written there. Right? You need to put in a question, right? You need to put in a quotation. Okay, so you need to put a question, a quotation, right? And you need to make a statement that stands out. Right? Something that you want me to take note of, right? Or your reader to take note of. Okay? Right. So you'll be graded according to that on your punctuation and your grammar. Right? Because
There
that's
must be a quotation and equation.
yeah, you must have a quotation, right? And you must have a question. So you must pose a question in your writing. And yeah, you must write a statement that you're making, right? But something that stands out. So I want to see your punctuation that involves that basically. So you email IJIBANI
Yeah.
81 at gmail.com. And the children from the value on.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, we still say it's a very first time. We have now that we will go ahead and will consider. Which that's actually a phone and you have to go day time. So try to give you live at home. Just like wow. Everyone just is very talented and then you just really you do.
You move on. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is also I have these videos that I've watched where guys go for interviews and they kind of teach you how to do an interview. Right? And he does all these different things. And he actually does. There's one video where he does an interview with where he does an interview without any experience, which is like he teaches you how to go for an interview for a job for what you don't have experience and how to answer the questions that they ask you. Which I found pretty fascinating because the guy speaks it and he goes through it. Maybe I can play it tomorrow night. I'll download it and I can play it for you guys. And he actually does an interview where he has no experience for this job, but he does it so well that you just want to give this guy the job. The way he answers it. I'm not saying you're always going to get it right, but it's good pointers that you can pick up on when you go for interviews and things like that. And like or when they ask questions, even if you do have experience for the job, they'll ask you certain questions, and there's a certain way of answering those questions that just make you more appealing for the person that's doing the interview and stuff like that. Yeah, that's my class for this evening. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. I know you guys had homework for me. You got your homework?
Yeah. I have another question. Long time ago, I heard something like when you go for your interview, they say um, you have like a technical background, or
Yeah.
you are a mechanic.
Yeah.
Now you're going for interview, but you dress like somebody who's like
Over this.
yeah, like
You dress in a suit.
and what
Yeah.
it they the guy told me it will give the impression another impression to the recruiter
Like
because you are a mechanic but you wearing suit.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah. Dress
doesn't match the
Dress
way-
according to the job that you're going for. Yeah, there's I think what you should do is inquire when the person that phones you or tells you that you must come for an interview, get as much information then about that interview that you're going for. Right? It doesn't hurt to ask the questions. Right? Is it okay if I come dressed in my overall? Because I'm coming from work or I'm going to work afterwards. That's fine. You ask, and if that person said no, that's fine. As long as you're not going to dirty my furniture and stuff like that. Because you don't want to go also and you're messing up. You go for
Yeah,
interview and you mess up the place. But it helps, and you speak to the HR person is there to help you also. They're gonna tell you, you can ask questions. What do I need to bring for my interview? Do I need this, and this? How do you want me to dress? Do I have to dress formal? Or can I come dressed in my uniform that I'm working at because I'm going to work afterwards, or I'm coming from work for my interview? You see, or maybe you're not working and you can say what is an appropriate dress code for this interview, and stuff like that. You ask the questions. That prepares you for the interview. Um, so that's not a problem if you do that. Anything else?
Or to cover later. What's more the purpose of the cover letter when you send it to you and you also need to send the cover letter.
Yeah, that's just to give a brief description of who you are. That's like what you were saying earlier. A brief description of who you are, right? And also why you can in there you can note why you are applying for the job. You can say I'm applying for this job because I've seen this ad in the newspaper and I'm applying for that position. That's okay. You can put that in the cover letter. So yeah, and also don't and like again, if you're using a specific cover letter for a specific job, and don't forget to change it if you're applying for a different job, right? Because you might be applying for something and you note it in your cover letter. Don't forget to change it because some people will forget to change it and they'll think, okay, just send it. But now you state I'm applying for the position of a fitter and turner, But in your thingy there, you applied previously for a mechanic. You see, so make sure you change your cover letter for the specific job that you're applying for. Yeah. Any more questions? It's good to ask questions. I don't mind you asking questions. If you are nervous for doing interviews, no? Then practice. Practice. Even if you ask somebody to be like an interviewer, and you interviewee, they can ask you questions and stuff like that. Also, if you apply for work, I mean, if you need a job, don't be afraid to apply for work. Send your stuff out there. You know, if you wanting to move on up in your career, send out your CV, send it to companies. Some of them might not even be advertising, but they're also looking for people. So if you know there's a space, send it. Even if they put you on the system, they have you on their system. They know, okay, we can contact you. When I started off with my career in the hotel industry, um, I I just went and walked, and I didn't even have a CV. I just gave him my name at certain of the hotels in Seafood, and then this was my mission. I was gonna go get a job today, and I went, and I said I'm gonna, because there was a whole lot of hotels in Seafood, and I said I'm gonna start at the first hotel and start walking down and ask if they have work. And I went to the one hotel, and the second hotel, the lady told me, okay, she took my details and she said she's gonna let me know. And then I think I did another two hotels after that, and I went home. When I got home, the lady phoned me and she said I must come in tomorrow, start as a houseman. And that's how I started working in the hotel industry. And then I've always worked in the hotel industry, and I worked my way up. My last position that I held was an assistant general manager at the same hotel where I started. That's where I ended up my last position. And then I left to go and to work in the Lords, to work for the big boss, the main boss. Yeah. But that's and always don't always sell yourself short. Like my thing is, when I got into the job, I never ever stood down when a opportunity became available. Even if people within the company discouraged me to do it, I still went for that. So I like, and so for me it's like fascinating, because when I started off as a houseman, there was guys with me that started off as a houseman. They moved to the next level, which is a porter, which was a job that everybody wanted, a porter in the hotel. And I also moved out of housekeeping I became a night porter. But some of those guys today, if I go to the hotel, they are still porters. They haven't moved further up in that. If you and don't, yeah, some of them is because they are afraid to leave that job, and some of them are afraid for responsibility. Because obviously, the more you climb in your positions, the more responsibility you have. And sometimes it's fear that holds us back. We don't want to take on that responsibility. We just want to stay where we are. But don't do that. If you have a talent to do something, you must do it. If you have
confidence.
Yes, have confidence. If God has blessed you with a talent, then you must use that talent. Somebody wants to ask something?
Yes. There's normally this question used to normally ask, what's your weakness?
Yeah.
I find it a little bit tricky.
Mhm.
Yeah, you didn't
Now you're gonna tell him what your weakness is and your friends. So maybe you say, I don't have any weaknesses. There are just certain things that I find challenging. You see? And the challenges that I face, I overcome them by doing this, and this. You see? So you don't have to say it's a weakness, you can just say it's a challenge. But you can overcome the challenge. There's always ways to answer. And I get into that videos that it's pretty cool videos. I'm gonna bring it along tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have time to watch the way this guy does his interviews. I found it, if I knew this 20 years ago, then I'll be doing much more interviews than what I went to a lot of interviews. And that's also good, Because you become good at doing interviews if you do it a lot. Anything that you do a lot, you become good at. So even if you don't stand a chance of getting that job, still go for the interview. Because that's, like you said, builds confidence. You see, the more you do it, the more confident you get. Because it can be very intimidating when you walk into a room and you're going for an interview. And now there's maybe sometimes it's okay if the person is nice, but maybe the person doing the interviews comes across as cold, and maybe there's two people or maybe there's three people, and it can be intimidating. But like I say, the more you do it, the more confident you get at doing interviews. And confidence is something that people look for, right? Don't be overconfident, but be confident. When you go for the interviews, and don't be afraid to do it. To go for it. Don't even think that you're not going to get that job. So why do bother even? No, bother. Apply for it and pray about it. No, before you go, pray about it. When you send out your CV, pray about it. No, that's what we should always be doing. Including God in everything that we do, in all our plans and things like that. That will help us. Any other questions?
And also, I think sometimes also it's good to know the company that you're applying for, because I remember I went for one interview. The first question was asked was, you apply for this position in this company. Just tell us in 2 sentences who you are as a company. What do we do?
Yeah.
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 Then I was stuck because I didn't-
Important. Do your research. Do your research, no? And it's so easy for us. You just go onto your phone. If that's the company, type in the name of the company. Then there'll be tabs in there that will tell you about. Click on the about, and you can read up about the company, where they started, what they do, what is their main things, and then and find out details, right? And look up the things. Look at what they make, what they do there. It's not usually go there and you don't know what the people is making.
Yeah.
What they're producing. They might be a company that's making alcohol. No? So do your research. And then you can walk in there and like you say, you walk in there and you didn't know what they're doing, what they say. Yeah. Do your research about the place. Even if you like read up news articles about them, they might not be a good company to work for. You understand? Because not all companies are the best companies to work for. So do your research when you make your application, and especially when you get an interview. If you get an interview, it's good because you know what? They are looking at the possibility of hiring you. They won't give you an interview if they don't think that you could possibly be the person that they want. So then you prepare for that interview as the best as you can. Make sure, and if it's a specific job that you're going for, then you look up what that job entails, what you need to do, what the hours are, because they're gonna ask you, are you able to work hours? Are you able to work certain hours? Are you able to work shifts? And then you must be honest about it, right? Because if you are able to work shifts, you say yes. And don't also just give an answer because you want to get the job, but then you're not able to work shifts. All right. So if you go into a job and you know this just and you have family involved, make sure that your family knows that you're going for a job that's going to involve shifts, so that they are also on board. And they'll more than likely be on board, but make sure that you know all these things ahead of time. And then also interview. If you're in the interview, ask questions. Have some questions ready that you want to ask. Don't go in there and then think about questions because they're going to ask you, do you have anything to ask us? Right? Don't be afraid to say what they're going to ask. What do you expect to earn? Right? So then you have to do your research. So okay, if you are, I keep using a patent turner because I just know my brother used to be a patent turner. So you say, then you research on what the salary is that they pay a patent turner. You go from an average to you go to what the lowest person earns as a patent turner and what the most, and then you say I'm looking at earning between this and that. You see, because then you're not giving an amount that is unrealistic. You're being realistic because that's what the market is paying for that kind of person. You see, because they might ask you, what do you expect to get paid for the job? And then you will say, well, according to my research that I looked up, the minimum salary for a full-time turner is so much per month or so much in a year, and the maximum. So I would be expecting to earn anything in between that. You see, so they know, okay, your minimum is this and your maximum is, you see. And then you can say, based on experience, this is the minimum and this is the maximum that somebody would earn. And you say, I'll expect to be paid whatever's in between. You see, and you kind of throw the ball back into their courts. Yeah. But ask questions, no? Ask questions about the company, ask questions about um like like you want to know what time you start work, what time, what your required hours will be. Is there overtime that is going to be required of me? If so, what is the overtime? You ask all those things so that they know that you're also, interested in knowing. You ask about the company, also how long has the company been around? Maybe you know this, but you just ask, and you ask things like that. Because you also want to know if you're going to go to a new job, that business is still going to be there within 6 months. Because they might be a company that's in financial difficulty. Now you move to another job. I mean, they won't be hiring if they're in financial, but you never know. But in a few months they go close down and you will have a job, and stuff like that. So it's always good to know things, these things. Any more questions? We went straight through now after break now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking now, it's 9 already. But I know it's hard to, it's the situation out there is very tough at the moment. Whereas previously you could walk into certain jobs and it was easy to get jobs, but now it's hard because the fact is there's a little jobs and there's a lot of people looking for jobs. So it's tough. And when you look for a job, it's a challenge to get a work now. That's why if you have a job, look after your job that you have. And also, if you ever apply for, if you ever gonna go in for a new, I mean, I sometimes I can't figure out why people do this. Huh? They leave their job before they got a new job. Huh? Make sure you've got your new job before you leave the other job. Make sure you have a contract in hand that is signed off by the company to say that you've got the job before you hand in your resignation for your other job. No? You don't make that mistake where you leave and your other job is not confirmed, because then you're in trouble. Because I've seen that happen with people also. Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Ask questions. If you go for an interview, be on time. No, don't be late. Be early. Get to your interview at least 15 minutes before the time. It's the worst thing if the guy comes late to his interview. Already that's a bad thing. Going into the interview room, like me, I always have water with me, right? If you go in and you ask the person, is the favor I bring my water along? Some of them don't like it when you have distractions in the room. So, ask before you bring it in. If the lady might say it's fine, yeah, you can bring your water, but just out of courtesy, you just ask, if it's okay. Be neat. Make sure your hair is gone if you have it. Make sure if you're like you said, dress appropriately, right? Don't be unnecessarily untidy, because that also brings across a bad reflection on who you are. In the interview, don't be slouching, don't be laying down. You sit up straight, yeah, sit up straight. If you have a table, it's nice. Keep your hands like this on the table. It's nice, and you know, and that's all professionalism and stuff like that. Mm. And then when they ask you a question, you answer the question. Right? And also, when you answer questions, don't beat around the bush. Come straight out with what they're asking, give a straight answer. No? Try not to use yes and no answers.
Is that important?
Yeah, when they ask you a question, like they'll ask you open-ended questions and you give an answer that's required. If they ask you closed, they'll ask you questions where it's required yes or no. But when there's questions that require more, then give them more, what they want to know. Right? But give them what they need to know. That's important. Be honest, be open. You don't be dishonest about anything in an interview. Some people will lie, but we don't lie. We are honest. Huh? And even if your honesty causes you not to get the job, at least you've done the right thing. You see, and they'll know that you were honest. You know, and sometimes they'll keep you in mind because they'll put this one side and they'll keep it in mind. This person was honest about that. Maybe we can use them for something else in the company. And then they might contact you at the later stage. Yeah.
Now, as you know, 100 years sa interview ni, would know 100 years sa interview. Akay ka naman sa school yari. Yara niya, ay sa full take years of full yung interview. Yara yung full sa minsa.
Yeah, that all depends. Some of them might do it after your first interview, right? Because they might be interested in you, right? So they'll give you the interview, but they won't give you the decision immediately. Because then they'll say, okay, we're gonna contact your references now after the interview. And then they'll check with the references and then they'll make the final decision on whether they'll give you the job or not. Yeah. Yeah.
Because some of them do. Some of them do.
Yeah. What they found your references. Yeah.
They
Yeah, some of them will do it ahead of time because that will also save them time because they'll find the references first and then they'll say the references, depending on what the references also say, they'll make a decision to give you the interview or not. Yes. It's all up to the company, they'll do it whichever way they do it. So. Yeah.
As a Christina interview dengan zikir ni beto. Am dina utira kanya o beto. Kana rin mo yung interview yung Christina fala kanya. Kasi ala, iya, ala to na.
Yeah. See, if it's gonna be a problem with your current job, then try not to. Right? But the other way is just to speak, be honest with you. I know employers are some of them are really they're not good people. So they'll be nasty. And if they know that you're looking for other jobs, they're gonna start treating you bad. Maybe at work and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right. Did I get everybody's homework? Let's see. Yeah, you can give it to me tomorrow.
Did you send me that CD?
You see,
I didn't receive it yet.
this one, I don't know, I wasn't.
Did you get it? Yeah, just check with you.
Here, I know it's like this one.
Now I'm checking my email.
Is
Yeah, it's yeah, correct now.
You got
I
it.
just got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So if you like the assignment that I gave you now, it's gonna be due for Thursday. So you can start working on it now already. But I'll give you more information about it tomorrow after written out for you to say this is what I want back on Thursday. But it's basically you're gonna find John, you're gonna go to John chapter 1 and you're gonna read it and you're gonna tell it, you're gonna recount it back to me in your own words. Right? With the requirements that is there. Because like I said, it's not it's not I'm not gonna be grading you on what you put in there in the sense of whether you fully understand that or not. The grade is gonna be you using your punctuation and your grammar in the way that we discussed in class. That's what we're gonna be graded on. Okay. So don't overthink it. Don't say I've read it, but just couldn't get it around to understanding what they were writing there. Don't just write so that I can see that you're able to put sentences together, that you're able to use punctuation in the right way, and that your grammar is right, and that your spelling and all that. No? That's all that I want to see in that. And 15 to 20 sentences. That will give me a good idea to see if you guys, got a good understanding of how to write and visualize. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so that's our class for this evening. Thank you everybody for being here.